Thanks for staying with us. So many of you know on Wednesdays we like to celebrate women that we love. So our guest today is a certified environmental consultant, and she has garnered experience in various fields of chemical engineering and management. Today, she is the MD CEO of BAMSAT Nigeria Limited, as well as the managing partner of BAMSAT Engineering Services Limited. Both companies are involved in environmental consultancy, fire safety, and civil mechanical engineering services, respectively. Welcome with us, engineer Margaret Ogungala. Welcome to the show, also known as the Erelu of NSC. What's NSC?
The Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Oh, Nigerian Society of Engineers. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Good to have you on the show. Now, going to your career as an engineer, I mean, and I know that being in this Nigerian Society of Engineers is not an easy thing, especially as a woman. You know, I'd like you to give us in a small recap of your career, the ups and downs, the highlights, those things that you had to succumb to get to where you are today.
Thank you. Engineering is a career that I went into because of the fact that I felt more comfortable with calculations.
Okay.
You know, my father wanted me to become a medical doctor, but I just couldn't stand biology and all those. So yes, and all that. So and the chloroform and all that. But with engineering, with mathematics, additional mathematics, I was more comfortable, and so that's how I came into engineering, and I chose chemical engineering. I was actually admitted for civil engineering, but I also didn't like drawing. So I chose chemical engineering, and that's why I'm a chemical engineer. And I practiced for 35 years now.
Wow.
So I graduated in 1986. I went to the University of Benin. So, and I've had a life of movement. So I also understand that as an engineer, I see things, you know, I saw things growing up that intrigued me, that made me want to also participate and how do I put it, contribute to those things. I had a cousin who worked in the oil and gas, and I liked what he was doing, you know, going to the rig and stuff. So I chose, that's why I now said, okay, since I didn't like drawing, I should go for
But the journey always been smooth. Did they just allow you to come in as a woman?
Yeah,
was it very smooth?
Yes, it wasn't difficult at all.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't difficult at all. I mean, I got admitted and I was treated the same way as the boys.
Oh, wow.
But the boys were actually kind of compassionate with us. Where, you know, when we had practicals, like in welding and stuff, they would normally say, okay, Meg, you know, let me do this for you, you know. So instead of kind of rebuffing us, they pampered us.
We didn't have so many female engineering students.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, during your time, is it a situation of we used to have a lot more then, but over a period it's reduced, or that you're seeing more women going into engineering? And how would you say that you being an engineer has helped other women to pursue engineering?
Okay, thank you. Well, in my days, there weren't so many girls. In my class of 44, and we had the highest in my year, in my set, we were 10. And that was a lot. In the whole of the faculty at the time, we were like 12 or 13. And so that was very little. But last year, I was on an accreditation visit to a university as a member of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. And I saw girls. I was impressed. More girls. Wow. In fact, there was a particular class that had more girls than boys.
Oh, wow.
And the girls are doing so well.
Let me ask you about marriage and career, because this always kind of, it's like a spanner that just throws in the wheel. You know, a young girl is an engineer, doing all this great stuff, you know, trying to be this person, and suddenly marriage shows up, and you're like, okay, I have to slow down. Children are coming. This is happening. How did that happen in your own regard? How did you marry marriage into your career and what you're doing?
I like the way you put that, marrying marriage into my career. Well, fortunately, I will start by saying that I've been fortunate. I met my husband before I left school. I was doing my industrial attachments in Warri at the time. So he's an engineer. He's a chemical engineer as well. So there's been this understanding from the beginning.
Okay.
He knew that he was marrying an engineer, which is different from, and he knows what it takes to be an engineer.
Right.
So he knew what he was going into.
Right.
So that made it kind of, I had a soft landing. But then, as a woman, you know, and an African woman, there are a few things that you must learn to do. I mean, in marriage, you must learn to take care of the home first. And so growing up, you know, I was able to, in the beginning, it was not so difficult. But at some point, I almost kind of left my career by one side and concentrated more on the home.
Family.
It was like taking some time off.
Yes.
Until my children were a bit older. And that's why I was able to participate in PTA, you know, all the PTA. In one of them, I was chairman. So, and then I later found that there were things that I could do within my career, within my profession, that would not take so much of my time. So that's why I also didn't work for government or any enterprise for too long. So I started my own small company. I started by selling industrial chemicals, which is all part of chemical engineering anyway. So I started by selling industrial chemicals, then doing feasibility studies, you know, and then environmental consultancy, and then all those things I could still do. My time was flexible. So I've been lucky.